Hello, everybody. Welcome along. It is the Benjamin Bloom Football Show, and this is the Championship review for game week number 40. Only 6 to go, and an absolutely crazy midweek. Lots of results have gone the way of making things more interesting at both ends of the table if you're a neutral. Add to that, Hull have literally just scored a 92nd minute winner to win for the first time in about 100 games. They're out of the bottom three. Wigan have gone into administration. Oh, God, we are not short of news in the Championship. Come and join the stream. Let me know you're here by hitting the thumbs up button and get involved in the comments as we go. Look, we're going to do Q&A at the end, so we'll go game by game. So get your comments in on the game we're talking about. I'll be back tomorrow for the preview, so don't worry about asking about the next load of games. We'll try and focus in on this round of games, and let's have a look what those results have looked like this midweek. On Tuesday, a draw, Millwall, Swansea, and Cardiff and Charlton drawing as well. Barnsley win again against Blackburn. Brentford win again at Reading. Brentford on fire. Fulham, first win since restart at QPR. QPR on the beach and losing a lot. Wigan, another big win, but now a 12-point deduction coming for going into administration. Leeds held by Luton. They dropped points for the second time in 3 games since restart. Then on Wednesday, Derby win at Preston to continue their push towards the playoffs. Forest win again at the City Ground to beat Bristol City, who are on a huge slide. I think they lost all of their games. They certainly haven't won any since they've been back. Huddersfield, huge win for them. West Brom finally get a win after 4 without. And just minutes ago, you can see when I took the screenshot, the game was still going. Hull have beaten Middlesbrough and they are out of the bottom 3. So lots and lots and lots to talk about. We'll bring the tables up in and out when we're looking at various games. So let us start at the top as we always do. And there you can see it was Leeds 1, Luton 1. The XG will tell you, if you believe in these sort of things, that Luton maybe got away with one there, 0.29, and they managed to get a goal off that. And it was quite a brilliant goal by Harry Cornick, out on the inside left position. He's played out to the corner. The defenders leave him, and he cuts inside and curls. An absolute beaut into the top corner to give Luton the lead. As you can see, Stuart Dallas, just 13 minutes later, gets the equaliser. Nice feed in by Alioski. He's come off the bench in the past couple of games for Leeds and delivered a goal and an assist. I wonder if Mr. Bielsa, probably not, will be thinking about changing his first team, but he never really does. You could see by that XG as well. Leeds pushed and pushed, 2.41 there, but could not get the second goal. Great result for Luton, and they are 5 points from 3 games back, and they've only drawn the 2 games against Preston and Leeds, one of which was top of the league and one in the playoffs. So Luton have come back very well. Leeds, well, they've got 4 points from 3. They would have wanted 5 or 6, evidently, being in an automatic promotion spot, but not all bad from a Leeds point of view. They've come back from, if you scratch that Cardiff game out, it's 4 points from 2 and a very good performance against direct rival in Fulham. Let's have a look and see how the top of the table looks. Leeds 75 now. So Brentford have closed up their 6 points behind Leeds with 6 to go. I've been saying all along, if you have a point per game to play with, you're pretty comfortable. West Brom don't have that. They're 5 points behind, but we'll talk about them in just a minute. So Leeds, you can see 22 wins, more than anybody. Looking pretty good. The one thing you would look at if you were a little bit paranoid as a Leeds fan would be that goal difference. Very tight, but a lot worse than Brentford's. We'll look maybe at the running fixtures tomorrow, but you would fancy Leeds running over some of the other teams. Let's look from a Luton point of view. They've been superb under Nathan Jones. They've stuck 5 points on. Now, remember, with this complicated Wigan situation, cast your eyes up to 14th. And as it stands, if Wigan do not finish naturally in the bottom three, they will be deducted 12 points. They're miles away from the bottom three. Is anyone going to catch 7 points on Wigan? No. So you can pop Wigan to the bottom of the league on 38 there, meaning Luton are second from bottom, effectively 23rd. Stoke would be out of it, and Luton would be chasing just Stoke, who are 3 points behind. But Luton and Barnsley, brilliant since we've been back, 5 points and 7 points respectively. Evening all, says Jasper there. Evening Ben, angry as a Blues fan. We talk about Birmingham in a jiffy. Mark is a relieved West Brom fan. Stephen, as you can imagine, is an annoyed Middlesbrough fan. We got George representing West Brom here. Warnock will be fuming. Yes, he will. We'll get on to that. Let's have a little look here. Is there any news on the Derby Sheffield Wednesday FFP investigation? Feels like the whole table could change. Yeah, still waiting on that. Obviously, as soon as we get that, we'll make a video about that. But no one has been found guilty yet, and no one's been deducted any points, even though charges. God, both of those teams have had the charges for seems like forever now. Let's move on. Game number 2, and an excellent win. Back to winning ways indeed for West Brom there. Possible banana skin away at Sheffield Wednesday. Nothing of the sort for the Baggies. Brilliant. 3-0 away win. You'll always take one of them, won't you? Charlie Austin comes back. Silly tug by Moses Odubajo in the box. Austin sticks the penalty home. I wonder if he'll keep his place now over Hal Robson-Kanu. Ken Zahor had got on ahead of him as well in the last game. So maybe Austin's played himself in with that goal. Who knows? They hadn't been scoring, had they? But great sight there for West Brom fans. 2 goals from Matheus Pereira. Guides a header in on 58 and then wraps up with a near post left footer there. If Pereira plays well, West Brom play well. If Pereira doesn't play well, maybe West Brom struggle a little bit more. They'll be really pleased to see who I've described many times as the league's sort of premier number 10 this season. Pereira, he's been the best in terms of the numbers there. They'll be really pleased, the Baggies, to see him back on the score sheet. Wednesday continue their slide, don't they? I don't think they've had a win since getting back. So this question that we just had in the comments about the FFP does become relevant, although that Wigan thing has really thrown another huge moving part in. West Brom 5 points clear of Brentford. Brentford would have taken that after 3 games to cut the lead from 5 points. Remember, West Brom still to play Fulham as well, and Brentford we'll talk about in a minute. So you'd still make those top 2 heavy favourites. Could you say they've had their little iffy moments already? Who knows? But you wouldn't swap places with either Leeds or West Brom, or if you were Leeds and West Brom, rather, you wouldn't swap places with anyone at the moment with that 5 and 6 point lead. But Brentford chasing hard. Sheffield Wednesday have disappeared, obviously, from that top half. Let's just throw up the bottom half just to see how they are standing. 52 is the number. But remember, let's all do our maths. Stick Wigan on the bottom, push Barnsley to 23rd. So your number you're looking at is now 41, 11 behind Wednesday. So if Wednesday get a 12-point deduction, if they're found guilty, I'm not saying they have, they will indeed be relegated. Lee says, evening all. Martz, who's happy today, up the Baggies. There we go. Radaby, prediction for the top 2. I've said the 2 will get it. West Brom and Leeds all along, so I've got to stick with them. But boy, did Brentford look good, hey? Has Wigan's deduction been confirmed, or is it possible it could get overturned? No, it won't. It won't be overturned. It's written into the EFL rules. If you go into administration, you get your 12 points. I think the EFL put a statement out yesterday saying as much. They will definitely be deducted 12 points unless they down tools, lose all their games, finish in the bottom three, in which case they get deducted the 12 points next season. That's just to stop clubs waiting until they're relegated before they go into administration. Why the Wigan owners have put them into administration, I do not know. Luton and Barnsley catching up. Yes, they are. We'll get on to that. Stoke in trouble. Yes, they... Oh, God, how many times have I said this season? Huddersfield and Stoke. Oh, they'll be fine, won't they? They'll be okay. It's Stoke. I know they're not really in the real bottom three. Once I don't know when the BBC and the likes where I copy these tables from are going to start minus in the 12, but they need to pretty soon, or at least have an asterisk next to Wigan in the table. There, let's move on. And I've said, look at that XG, for God's sake, 4.69 on the XG. Put it this way, Brentford could have had 6 by the looks of it. They got 3 at Reading, and their 3 results since they've been back: 2-0 away at Fulham, 1-0 at home to West Brom, 3-0 away at Reading. 9 points, 6 goals, none conceded, and they've closed the gap up. They're doing all they can, Brentford, and even if they don't make the top 2, they're getting their form ready for the playoffs, let's just say. And Buemo, how have Reading not got this corner scouted? Brentford have done this corner 1,000 times where Pinnock runs on his own to the back post. I talk about it all the time. And he does just that, heads it back to Buemo, who heads in, I think, 15 or something for Buemo. De Silva and Joel Valencia, you can see there with the goals to make it 3-0. Absolute hammering there, you can see by the XG. A very, very one-sided game there. Brentford looking fantastic. You can see 3rd spot. Huge goal difference as well. Remember, if you can get to that last game within 3 points and you've got a superior goal difference, strange things happen on the last day of the season when everyone's playing at the same time, everyone's hearing results. I'll tell you one thing this season, that anxiety of the crowd won't be there, though, because I've seen that many, many times when a stadium hears a result's gone for them and the players' legs just seem to go to jelly with all the anxiety. But look at Brentford really pushing on, up to 20 wins as well there. Could West Brom's ability to draw games that they don't play well and get them over the line? It is at the moment, if you look in the loss column there. Reading are down with QPR, Sheffield Wednesday and Birmingham on the beach. And yeah, they're not playing well at the moment. I think they've got a draw and 2 defeats since they've been back. 49. So again, look at Barnsley, not at Stoke, because Wigan would be down there on 38 with the 12 off. So they're 8 points clear. 8 points clear with 6 to go. Should be enough, but I think so far a 0-0, a 3-3, and a 3-0. So they're either conceding lots of goals or not scoring. No subs, all young players on the bench. No manager confirmed. Birmingham need to get safely to the end of this season and then retool next season, don't they? Let's go and have a look at your comments before we go to Nottingham Forest. Who do you think will make the top 6? I would have thought it'd been between Cardiff and Derby. Now it looks that way, doesn't it? And they are very much the form team. Derby we'll talk about in a minute. 5 straight wins. But again, FFP charges in, isn't it? Having horror visions of Leeds finishing 3rd and Derby 6th again. Oh dear. Same thing, exactly that happened to Ipswich and Bolton in the late 90s, where they lost to them one season and then the table, Bolton were like 8th or something with 10 minutes to go and a couple of goals went their way, and all of a sudden everything slipped and the same playoff game was going to happen again. Maybe Wigan knew this was coming and this is why they've been playing out of their skins. I don't know about that, Mike, but certainly very, very strange to put them in now and not wait 6 weeks or whatever, and then they're in the same division, aren't they? Kieran Maguire's dealt with this on the Price of Football podcast. Do check that out for some more on Wigan. Mr. E says Reading, Birmingham and QPR to go down. That'd be a stretch, but they're all on the beach by the look of it, aren't they? Yeah, Mark says QPR is safe. Don't know how many more points they're going to get, but they probably are safe. And CFC says West Brom gonna bottle it. Let's see what happens. Team that are doing pretty decently. That's 7 points since we've been back for Nottingham Forest. look at that XG, the most typical Forest home performance you can get. 0.59 and lower on the XG. Really tight game. Bit of quality. Second half goal. Thiago Silva putting a lovely free kick in. A few lovely free kicks this time. This game week, and they get the win again. They're going to be so hard to play against in the playoffs, Forest. I've said that many times. I'm sticking to it. 2 straight wins, looking good at home as well. Silly red card at the end for Ashley Williams. Pointless shove there. And Bristol City not looking good at all. Let's have a look. They're still in the top half, so I've brought the wrong one up. Sorry, everybody. Bristol City are 12th. They have missed chance upon chance, haven't they? Because I think they were 1 point off the playoffs on Project Restart. And now they are 6 off. Even going into that game, they could have landed on 58 and been right in the mix, but they're just not getting any goals, any points. Although Afobe got the start there. Look at Forest above Fulham now. And look, not losing many games. Loads of draws like West Brom as well, but they are tight. They are good defensively, which, Fulham, much better attacking team, but a worse goal difference. It's good to have Forest in there. I think that's a team that could be interesting in the playoffs indeed. Mark says, Albion will be okay. Got the mojo back. Leeds, though, Brentford are bound to drop points. He's a confident West Brom fan. Dave, 30 points from Derby's last 15. Everyone knows I think the Holy Grail is 2 points per game. God, you do that over 15 games. That's automatic promotion form for nearly 1/3 of a season, isn't it? Derby in superb form. Any coincidence was when Rooney arrived. Ridley, Bristol City can't get over the line again. Wouldn't be surprised if they want Johnson gone. I've thought this a couple of times in Johnson's reign, but this really looks like it, doesn't it? If they're going to finish 12th, for example, I think, and I've said it a lot of times, that Mr. McCarthy, Mr. Bruce, Mr. Houghton might really fancy that job. The recruitment's good, the stadium's good, they're financially viable in the Championship, Steve Lansdowne as well. It's a good job there at Bristol City. I'm not watching a Borough game on the telly now until they pull a finger out, says Stephen. Ewan says, Forest are so boring to watch. Yeah, you can have that view, but they are effective, Ewan. Stephen says, try watching Borough. East Midlands Derby this week. Looking forward to that one. Derby are a better footballing side, but Forest are hard to beat. Should be a nice tight one. Exactly that in the first game. I was there. It's just one mistake and ball given away, playing out, and Graben scored, didn't he? Was it Graben? I think it was, wasn't it? It's the classic Forest, isn't it? Bristol will have to win every game to have a chance. Yeah, I think they're done, Ewan. I think I don't see that happening. I'm sure you don't either. What is it with Bristol City? Either go on a good run or a long, terrible one. Noel, I'll do your Birmingham one. Stick it back in when we get to the Birmingham game. I know you've put that one in already, so I'm not ignoring it. I think Cardiff will get in the playoffs. If Cardiff get in the playoffs, they'll win them. God, Forest v Cardiff would be, that might be a tough watch and a very tight tactical game. Easy game Saturday for Forest, says James. I'm sure that will wind up the Derby fans in there. Paul thinks Brentford are going to go on the streak. I said, didn't I, loads of times before lockdown, someone's going to go crazy and win 8 and draw 1. Someone's going to go crazy and lose 8 and draw 1. At the moment, it's looking like Reading or QPR and, possibly Brentford or Derby. Oh, thanks, Lewis. Yeah, Graben from that Bogle pass across the box. None too clever. Fulham finally got themselves a win. They had lost 2 big games. Scott Parker coming under a lot of pressure with the defeats there. One at Leeds and one at Brentford. Didn't score in either. 5-0 the aggregate score. In those, you can see they hardly outplayed them from the XG. A couple of low percentage goals, and they were behind. Hugel, big jump and header at the back post on 1 minute. Poor from Kelly in goal for Arter's goal for Fulham. Shoots from outside the box through Kelly's hands in goal there. Krissy with a really good strike, actually. Kelly not a fault for that at all. Bullets that one in from outside of the box. So Important win for Fulham. We've said all along, Fulham have a hard run-in. And are they just going to flat track bully it and lose the hard games and, win against the likes of QPR, who are on the beach? There's Fulham in 5th place, but still to play West Brom, so they could close that gap up to 4. And if you're Brentford, you're all going to be behind Fulham against West Brom. I think they've got games against some of the other top 6 as well. I need to check. We'll do a video on that tomorrow, possibly. I'm not at work. Where indeed are QPR at the moment? Let's just have a little look for them. 15th, remember you can call that 14th. Again, the Wigan caveat, that huge 12-point swing they're going to get. -7 on the goal difference, 18 defeats is nearly as many as Barnsley in the bottom 3, but QPR do know how to score goals, and that's going to keep them in the division, isn't it? However, remember we're looking at Barnsley, 9 points clear with 8 to play would take something quite miraculous, but QPR could probably do with another win or 2. And it'd be interesting to see the next one there if there's no Eze. Indeed, Ridley says whoever goes into the playoffs in form usually wins them. George, you think Brentford will drop points at some point? So I'm still confident. I'd like to think that win will give us some confidence. Yeah, if you're Leeds and West Brom, just 1.6, 1.5 might 9 points from 6 games will probably do it. Doesn't need to be spectacular, just not a collapse. Fulham are like West Brom last season, big earners and inconsistent indeed. Have I heard about trying to get out of the Augustin contract? Because technically we aren't. Yeah, so Leeds have got Jean-Kevin Augustin on loan. Surely they can get out of that. That would be the craziest contract if they couldn't get out of. They didn't have a refusal there. Ewan says Neil Warnock just said they're going to win every game. Good old Warney. Lost in the last minute, hey? Warburton talked himself onto the beach before restart, spent a full week moaning about it. Fair comment, Mike. He certainly did just that. Just quickly, if you're in the chat, I can see a lot of people. Thank you for watching. You can support the channel via Super Chat if you want to donate or subscribing on Patreon. Confirmation at my work today that because of the government regulations and the budget had to be done with the governors at the school I work at on Tuesday, I will not be going back to that job for at least a school year. So please feel free to support the channel on Super Chat or subscribing on Patreon. And hit that, am I in the middle? There we go. Hit that thumbs up on either Twitter or YouTube, wherever you are watching. 83, 84 for automatic, says Mark. Yeah, low this season, low. You'd expect someone to be pushing 90, wouldn't you? Lisa's decided to relax and enjoy being first for a change instead of freaking out. There you go, Lee. Nice one. Right, who's next? Cardiff and Charlton, 2 in-form teams. Both now move on to 7 points across the 3 games. So maybe a draw, is kind of typical for 2 teams in form for neither of them to lose. Look at the XG there. Cardiff should have scored in this game, shouldn't they? 2.38 and no goals. Both teams playing very well. Both teams have coped with the restart very, very well indeed. I think if you'd have offered Cardiff, wrong table again. I'm going to do that probably another 10 times in this broadcast. Sorry. If you'd offered Cardiff 6th place, 3 games back, 1 point lead, 7 points on the board, having beaten Leeds and beaten Preston away, they would have taken that all day long. So Cardiff in a good position. And again, remember, Derby could, not saying they have, Derby could be found guilty of FFP and have that situation taken out of their hands. And Charlton, well, with the Wigan news, again, they look even more safe now, don't they? They have done a sterling job of putting 5 points between themselves and Barnsley. Effectively, Charlton are 17th now. 7 points in 3 games. Wherever you are in the table, whatever point of the season, you will always take 7 points in 3 games. Well done, Lee Bowyer. They really got them up for them. You get the idea Bowyer made this siege mentality during the lockdown with the ownership rubbish, and then Taylor and Solly and Davis walking away on their contracts. I think he did the us against the world, and he's played a blinder, Lee Bowyer, hasn't he? Jaggy says, I'm going to sign up to Patreon when I get paid. Outstanding. Never donate, but you deserve it. Thank you very much, Jaggy. You're very, very kind. Charlton Athletic Kidders, Hull winning tonight has put even more pressure on us for tomorrow. Draw would have been perfect. Yeah, true enough, but come on, you'd have taken the 7 points, and you've got to give Lee Bowyer credit for how Charlton have come out this. Albion play Hull on Sunday. Hull back to winning ways. Can't believe Warnock gave away a last-minute goal. There we go. What do I think of the bottom of the Premier League? Quality seems extremely low, which kind of tallies with a low points tally at the top of the Championship. Not good, is it? And those Premier League teams at the bottom just can't cope with Project Restart, can they? All dropping points. Adam and Eve says, hello, everyone. Hello from me to Adam and Eve. And let's move on. It was Preston 0, Derby 1. And this is where XG can kind of tell half-truths, can't it? Because Derby played really well in this game. Brilliant free kick from Rooney. Have a think about goal of the weekend. Or game week, excuse me. A few good ones there, but another big chance as well. Dwayne Holmes, they played through nicely, and he just lost his footing at the vital moment. Derby pretty comfortable in this one, I thought. Preston resorting to long throws and corners and things. Preston have dropped off quite badly since the restart. Derby are on fire. Only Wigan, I think, ahead of Derby in terms of form. 5 straight victories have put them up to 60 points. Yes, they could make it. I think we still have Derby and Cardiff to play each other as well, don't we? But they're in absolutely superb form. Rooney in superb form. Sibley coming into the team. The fullbacks, Lowe and Bogle, look absolutely great, don't they? Excellent for Derby. Preston, disappointing. They have a draw against Luton and then 2 home defeats against playoff rivals Cardiff and Derby. They've really blown the advantage they had, only adding a point on there, and they now face a 4-point deficit and look like outsiders. Preston have come back a few times, though. Bailey says West Ham looked good in their in their win over Chelsea. Antonio was amazing up top. Yeah, it looks like Bournemouth, Norwich, and Villa, doesn't it? Coming to the Championship. I'll wholeheartedly welcome Norwich and Villa back, but Bournemouth, I don't want to be travelling down there. Sheffield United just doubled their lead. Thank God for that. Mike seconds that. Blades flying the flag for the Championship. Whilst Norwich and Villa stink it out in the bottom 3 there. It's always good to have a Championship club do well, just to prove there is some quality in the league, and they've tailed off, haven't they, as well, Blades? So I'm glad they are winning today against Jose Mourinho, no less. Millwall 1, Swansea 1 was the first game of the game week. I've covered 2 this game week. I didn't do Middlesbrough and Hull today, just on the basis I wanted to focus on this review video. Bennett from a nice breakaway from Wallace, nice counter-attack that gives Millwall the lead. And that says Białkowski OG there. Really, Brewster should get the credit for that. Good free kick by him. Curls it over the wall. Nice pace, nice and flat. Hits the bar and hits Białkowski on the way down. And goes in. Not a helpful result for either team there. Both, well, Millwall, moreover, probably should have won this game, shouldn't they? Had a good go at the end of it. But Millwall now 5 points off. Still only 10 defeats is very, very decent. But getting the wins is a different thing. Only 13 wins, their lowest, as you can see, in the top half of the table. Swansea still hanging in there. They're only a little run like Charlton have got of 7 in 3, or even 6 in 3, away from making a chase again. But a little bit inconsistent, haven't they? Lost at home to Luton, didn't win at Mills, only 1 point from the last 2. Going to be problematic this time of the season. Ewan says, do you do match reviews of all Sky games? Because Derby are on Sky 6 games in a row. I'm going to try and do lots of them, Ewan. Is that really 6 in a row? My God. Nick says, Derby's run of games now is lethal. If someone help me out and pop Derby's run in, I'd like to see Fulham's as well, if anyone can do it for me in the comments. That might make some good debate. Mike says, rough on Bielkowski, that own goal. Yeah, fair comment, isn't it? Bailey says, Selina looked far slower on the ball than I remembered when he carved up QPR earlier this year. Yeah, Selina is, let's just say, a mercurial talent, inconsistent, can win a game for you on his own, but can also be very frustrating. Mick McCarthy had a interesting relationship with him when we had him on loan at Ipswich. Very, very talented boy, though. Person Selina, if he can get it all together. Barnsley 2, Blackburn 0. Barnsley, so good. I'd like to see the points under Gerhard Struber. I'm sure they wouldn't be in the bottom 3 for sure. There's just, I think it's Danny Cowley's wife actually tweeted something today about that. I retweeted it. A lot of these teams, I know it's a 46-game season, but a lot of teams paying for just really awful starts, and they've actually been playing very well since then, and would have been well clear of relegation. Stoke, Huddersfield, Barnsley, not sure about Luton, but certainly those 3 would have likely, there would have been plenty worse teams, especially with Charlton and Hull's form in the, sort of second 2/3 of the season. Brilliant goal, absolutely brilliant goal, that opener from Chaplin. It was Ludovic. He's got to bring the ball down on the half volley, he controls it, and puts in a David Beckham, Kevin De Bruyne-esque cross. And it's a really difficult header as well. Chaplin arrives, he runs onto it, and he bangs it in off the post. Go out of your way to see that first Barnsley goal if you haven't seen it. Outstanding goal. Jayden Brown with the breakaway for the second one. Nice touch and finish, good composure. 1v1. Ben Brereton with a very stupid sending off, same as Ashley Williams there. We've seen a fair few silly, Cabano as well in that Leeds Fulham game. People getting themselves banned for such silly things. I must say as well, I don't know whether that's anything to do with restart. We also are starting to see lots of team changes in games as well. So it is. We are going to have some freak results soon, aren't we? Where a team is not really a team. It's going to have 6 changes based on the team it had up 3 days before. Outstanding from Barnsley. And look at that now. Again, take 14th Wigan, take 12 points off. That puts them bottom. Shove Luton and Barnsley up 1. Barnsley 2 points from safety, and now have both Stoke and Borough within a 3-point range. Unfortunately for both Luton and Barnsley, the goal difference is not their friend. If they keep on winning, that will come closer. But it looks like they're going to have to score more points than their rivals to get out of this. However, if they keep on the form they're on, and we have a massive game between Luton and Barnsley coming up. I think that one's been moved to TV. Can't wait for that one as well. Loads of comments coming in. Let's see. Lee says Fulham have got Birmingham, Forest, Cardiff. Oh, God. West Brom. Yeah, that 1 week there. Forest, Cardiff, West Brom. That's gnarly for Fulham. Wednesday and Wigan. Wigan might likely be a dead rubber on the last day. Spurs got robbed by VAR. I haven't seen that, Ewan, yet. H. Huss says, do I still follow the previous championship teams in the Prem, or do I not care anymore? Of course I care. The dream is that I'll start to make enough money out of this to take it part-time, H. Huss, and I'll be able to start by covering the teams that I've covered before in the Championship, in the Premier League, and then maybe add extra videos. As I always say, though, there will never be any less Championship videos if I do add some Premier League stuff. It'll still be the same amount of Championship stuff, so do not worry about that. Ollie, we've got Derby, last away game of the season. Went there last season. That looks like a Leeds badge. I had a ticket for that one. I've had a 110% refund from Derby. There you go. Ewan says, this is Derby's running. Forest, West Brom, Brentford. Wow. West Brom, Brentford, Cardiff, Leeds in a row. Jeez. Birmingham at the end of the season should be okay. God, that's tricky, isn't it? Derby will really, really deserve it, won't they, if they do make it through that run. Stuart says, Mr. Chat so far. We're coming on to Birmingham in just a sec. Stuart, I'm not going to be pretty listening, really. Is it? Right. Any more comments before we move on to the next game? HR says start a podcast. If on your podcast provider you type in the Benjamin Bloom Football Show, it says up there. All of these shows are available audio as a podcast. So it's the same content essentially as this, but it's a start, isn't it? Trying to build up this empire. What's my views on Leeds promotion? Do you think they'll do it? Yes. Oh, Mark, if I want to go to the Albany office there, brilliant, Mark. I will definitely take you up on that. We were planning to do that. Mark very kindly offering me he gets 2 seats there at the Albion, and he offered me one, and I will definitely be taking that up. Thank you. A championship podcast. Yeah, maybe we'll see what time I've got. Always like the Blaze. Love the Blaze story. Brilliant last season, wasn't it? Herbie Kane is the best. H. Kane. Herbie Kane scoring again. Right, let's move on. So big kudos for Barnsley. Big kudos for Wigan. Look at that. Absolutely battering Stoke again. Wigan are not jamming these wins. They're unbeaten in 9 or something. They're top of the form table. Think they've won something like 6 out of the last 7. Absolutely superb. Dowell with the opener there, squidging that along the line. Pretty poor from Butland, to be honest. Naismith, again, pretty poor from Butland, spills it. But Naismith's second goal was brilliant, actually. Drifts in off the right, hits a lovely arrow shot, a bit like Cyrus Christie's one, into the corner. Lovely goal, would say Barry Davis if he was commentating. Let's have a look down the bottom of the table, because this is very interesting. So Wigan did move up to 50 points with that win. Outstanding, completely safe. Their players have done an amazing job, but their new owners have then decided to put them into administration. Quite what they're doing, nobody knows. I'm sure we'll find out in due course, but how those players feel after playing so well to get them there to then have that deduction must be so deflating for them. So Wigan will drop down to 38 points and be bottom of the league. However, the way they're playing, they could make up the, it'd be 5 points. What's Wigan's goal difference? -5. So they're way ahead on the goal difference. Look at Stoke, who would be 21st. Wigan would need to make up 5 points. That would be the escape of all escapes, wouldn't it? 12 points and down to the bottom with 6 to go. Administration. If Wigan make that, Paul Cook should get manager of the year. I don't care who goes up. That would be incredible. And Stoke, are they going to survive because someone else gets a points deduction? Look at that. Into the bottom 3. 21 defeats. Only Luton with more. There's a reason why they are down there. Let's go back to some of your comments. Robin says Wigan for the playoffs. Yeah, what a shame. Stoke aren't technically in the bottom 3. No, they are not. Why do you think Wigan don't fill their stadium? They were a Premier League team not long ago. I would say maybe some kind of money issues in that part of the world. I mean, they filled it for the Premier League, though, didn't they? Lots of competition for clubs around there, isn't there? Tons. I don't know. I really, really don't know. But I must admit, when I go to Wigan and the first 10 rows are tarped off for advertising, I do think, yeah, not good. What changed with Wigan, said Jaggy. The owners changed, and I just don't understand why you would buy a club and then weeks from the end of the season. God, we're literally 18 days or something from the end of the season to stick them in admin. So dumb. Can't believe it. Harvey, he wasn't confident the other day in here. We're going down, Ben. We've been a disgrace these last few weeks. Tonight we're falling into the bottom 3 and we are there to stay. I wonder how much some of our players actually care about the club. Sad to hear that, Harvey. But at the moment, you're going to get out of it because Wigan's owners are a bit thick, basically. So Dave says it's a rugby town. That's why they're not there, quite possibly. Relegation equals 46. We'll see how it pans out. I've said now someone would get relegated with 48 or 49, but Wigan dropping down to 38 now, cat amongst the pigeon. Marcus says, can Forest get top two? Derby and Fulham. So win those, and who knows? If you beat both of those teams, do still have a weird hankering for Forest being hard to beat in the playoffs. But many of you have heard me say that many times. So when it doesn't happen, you can mock me. Huddersfield, what a win for them. Really, really big win. Birmingham, quite possibly on the beach already. We've said mitigating factors with Pep Clotet. You know, he's going to be finishing up his contract, isn't he? Basically no players on the bench now, despite having some good players on the pitch like Bella and Jutkovic, Hogan, Bellingham, obviously. That rumbles on. Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund fighting over Birmingham's best player. Colin Grant's had a good season, hasn't he? He scored his second penalty in 2 games. Should have scored another against Forest, though, shouldn't he? And then a couple of set plays. Huddersfield doing a number on Birmingham. That XG may be artificially high. 2 penalties there is 1.5 of that. And Kachunga's was a right tap-in as well. But the scoreline doesn't lie, does it? 3-0. Really good result for the Cowleys. They absolutely needed that one. The only team in there, well, other than Stoke now, not to have got a win since we had Project Restart. So there are Huddersfield in 20th spot. So they have moved out. And once again, I will reiterate that we have to put Wigan down to the bottom. So effectively, Huddersfield are actually in 19th place, and they are 4 points ahead of the drop now, rather than what you're actually seeing. It's going to be a hard one for us to keep up with this whole time. Stoke, well, we heard Harvey's comments in the chat there. I feel a bit sad for Harvey there because he's an honest dude and really passionate fan at all. I still don't see Stoke going down. I hope I'm not cursing them, because I've just said all along, look, it's can't go down with that wage bill, that ownership and those players, etc. But 21 feet, you know, is just absolutely hopeless, isn't it? So they could do it, but I just get the feeling that they are going to be saved by what's happening at Wigan. And God forbid, Sheffield Wednesday fans, they might get saved by what's happening at Sheffield Wednesday as well. Let me do comments and then we'll go to that big win for Hull. Ollie McBurney just scored. Wilder 3, Mourinho 0. Right, Noel, I can read your comment now. Sorry, bro. Players know that Pep ain't there next season, so not a case of on the beach. It's a case players don't care. God. Great board decision to announce Pep's departure. I said it at the time, Noel. Ipswich did it with Mick McCarthy, and just it wasn't the players that turned, it was the fans that turned. They were like, well, look, if this guy doesn't want to be here beyond this season, then just really, really silly to announce it, isn't it? Bailey, why has Butland stayed at Stoke all this time? Big clubs wanted him. If I remember correctly, he's played for England. I feel sorry for Stoke in that situation, because they weren't to know that their England goalkeeper was just going to have the worst season of his life. What I will say, and I love Bart, and I know him to be a nice bloke. He had a terrible season for Ipswich last season, and he went elsewhere. He went to Millwall, good club. They've given him support. They've played in the right way, and he's got straight back to it the next season. So maybe Butland just needs to get out of there. But yeah, they're not going to. They're not going to come out of it looking good, are they? Noel says, Pep, when you take the 11 starters with you, will the players donate their wages to charity this week? I think the paper shredder needs to be used to destroy a load of contracts. Oh, dear. Birmingham fans and Stoke fans not happy. In the chat, you have my sympathy. And I kind of understand, because the fans of Wigan, who are bottom, effectively, well, they're happy. Barnsley fans are happy. Luton fans are happy. Charlton fans are happy. Huddersfield fans are happy after the win. There's a lot of teams winning down the bottom of the table. Stuart agrees with Waffler, worrying times. Was it wise for Birmingham to announce that Clotet was leaving, says Mr. E? I don't think so. Mark says Birmingham are drifting into nowhere, seem to be decent at times. they were good under Gary Monk last season with Adams and Jutkovic up front, Magoma and Hotta on the wings. Without that FFP, they would have finished sort of 9th or 10th, wouldn't they? So, yeah. I've already read that one, haven't I? Sheffield beating Spurs 2-0. I think it's 3, isn't it? Unless it got disallowed. Stoke have been in the 3rd tier for 8 seasons out of the last 30. That's interesting. Oliver says, extremely pleased. What a difference a win makes from a Huddersfield point of view. We play with much more intensity and could have been 4-0 easily. Birmingham looked poor. Yeah, you can just imagine that, can't you? That Huddersfield, with their mindset and, the focus of the Cowleys, as opposed to, Pep Clotet, the dead man walking, and all the contracts being rescinded, you can imagine they were much more focused on winning that game. Indeed. On the beach, biggest problem at Harley Dean, so-called captain there. Harley Dean conceding a bit of a rubbish penalty as well in that one. 2 penalties conceded in that game. I'm not sure he conceded the second. I'm sure Noel will be able to help me out. Look at that. By God, Hull have won a game. I think it's first win in 13. And by God, Neil Warnock has lost the game. But, of course, he took the lead on 4 minutes. Sombalonga sticking that one in. Herbie Kane, another really nice free kick this week. Loads of them. Rooney, Brewster, Silva and Kane all scoring great free kicks, all with their right foot. I think I'm right about that, aren't I? And Kane's got 2 free kicks in 2 games. But right at the end of that game, ball into the box. It's quite a Warnock-type goal, wasn't it? And headed down by Jordi De Vries. And Malik Wilkes, who the Hull Twitter admin were trying to be clever with today. They thanked him for his efforts on loan and then 4 minutes later announced that he'd signed. Banter. But, well, banterous wins today, doesn't it? Malik Wilkes with a really, really big goal for Hull to give them a 2-1 win. And again, with a million caveats, here comes the table. So Hull up to 19th, putting a 2-point gap in until you factor in Wigan's minus 12 points. Please, BBC, take the 12 points off Wigan so we don't have to do this every time. So Hull are actually 4 points above the drop zone now, given Barnsley are actually 22nd. So that is a massive win and a massive 2 days for Hull, isn't it? To go from being in it to being 4 points clear because of a win against your direct rivals and a team coming from 14th place to go bottom of the league. Has it opened up for Hull? Now, they've been playing terribly, but they've proven that in a spit and sawdust game at the bottom of the table that they can go and win. Borough, 44 points there, 6 to go. Again, they're 3 points off the drop, not 1, because Wigan will be down the bottom there. Look, I'm just going to edit the photo next time, I think, and just draw an arrow down from Wigan just to make sure you can actually see what's happening there. But Borough, I think they'll be happy enough. They'd be much more happy with the draw, wouldn't they? But 3 points from those first couple of games. I'm sure 1.5 per game will be enough to keep Warnock and Borough in there, and most people would back him. Harley Dean, sorry, with his Bud Lee camp. You got to say, Noel, that was a great save from the second penalty, wasn't it? Colin says, did anyone mention our team at the end of the game? 7 defenders, 2 defensive midfielders, and Josh Onama. Does that mean that Scott Parker's learning how to see a game out? My God, they're missing Mitrovic. Wigan's last 6 could be tasty. Well, look, if they continue their form, they're staying up, because if what have they got from their last 6? 16 points. That will do, won't it? Yeah, the psychology could just go now. Lee says, I think Wigan, Barnsley and Luton have a really good chance to survive. Just hope their form continues. Right, let's get some opinions. I need your goal of the game week, and I need your performance of the game week. Let me give you some ideas. Harry Cornick against Leeds, brilliant goal, curled it into the top corner. Your 4 free kicks, Silva, brilliant. Rooney, brilliant. Brewster, off the bar, maybe not. Kane, brilliant. And also Connor Chaplin's header for Barnsley. That's half the cross from Ludovic. Absolutely brilliant stuff there. So let me know what you think, either now in the chat or in the comments on delay, if you get this far watching on delay. On your goal of the game week, performance of the game week, I think I've got to go for Huddersfield, maybe even Hull. I think I'll go for Huddersfield, bearing in mind it was 3-0 and they were the only team down there, well, them and Hull, not to win. So I would like to go for Connor Chaplin as my goal of the game week, and I'll go for Huddersfield winning at Birmingham as my performance of the game week. I'll go to your comments. Don't just pick the team you support. Come on, we're more balanced than that here. Mark says Pereira header versus Sheff Wednesday. Great move. Also, I watched Pereira the whole time because I was watching on highlights. I knew he was going to score. Beautiful late run by Pereira as well. Performance of the week. Barnsley, says Thomas. Barnsley are great at the moment, aren't they? They could do it. Pereira, those Brazilian flicks and a brace of goals indeed. We're going to be in deducted points. Could save one very poor team from going down. Could do, Jack. Could do indeed. I don't know who's a poor team at the moment. Probably only Hull and Stoke fit that bill at the moment, don't they? Everyone else is getting wins. Dave says Luton's draw at Leeds, worth a mention. 100% agree with that. Bailey must have missed QPR Fulham. I definitely did it. Despite the loss, we played much better and deserved more. Okay. We technically switched up for once, going with 3 at the back. I saw QPR play 3 at the back at Millwall early in the season, and it looked really decent. So, yeah, especially Manning and Kane looked good at wing backs. Colm says Cyrus Krissy, his goal of the week. Great goal by Krissy. Probably should have mentioned that one in my little short list, shouldn't I? Right foot, bullets it across. We should mention Cal Naismith's goal as well if we're mentioning Christie's. Again, the Championship never lets us down, does it? Mark says Hull is the result of the week, so plenty of differing opinions on that. Right, if there's any more Q&A, ask away, as it says in there, and we can go a few more minutes. If you're still in the chat, I can see the thick end of 75 people are here, so please hit that thumbs up button. It looks something like that. And the ticker says along the bottom, please support the channel. You can do that right now by hitting the super chat, the little dollar. You can donate what you like. It's going to go in the pot, and hopefully there'll be a time where I can try and transition away from other work, and I'll use that pot to pay my bills and work my backside off to try and bring up the YouTube views, and maybe be able to do this as a job, but I need your help. And I'll shut up about that now. You can also subscribe via Patreon. Jack says Fulham, a carbon copy of us, West Brom last year. So we're talking Barnes-Gale and Rodriguez versus Mitrovic, Knockout and Cavaliero, with a very experienced manager who turned out to maybe not be very good. I take Jack's point, really, don't I? Nick, Luke Wolfenden signs a 4-year deal for that team there, Ipswich Town. There were Championship clubs after him. Yeah, we'll see if anyone will go. You know what Marcus Evans is like. If they can raise 3 million, they'll probably get him, won't they? Jack says Brentford could catch the top 2, or do you think the gap is big enough? I will get up tomorrow morning and make this video. I'll go and have a look at the final 6 games for everybody, and we'll see how things are looking. Bailey says Luton's chance of escaping relegation. Well, it's increased greatly by the fact that there's now a team who's dropped below them in Wigan. So that's only 2 teams they need to get above. They've got 5 points in 3 games. If look, let's bring the table up to help us out. So that would mean that they could score another 10 points in the last 6 games. Let me move that comment of yours, Bailey. If they get, oh my God, what a tech disaster. Sorry about this, guys. If they get another 10 points, they will finish on 50. That may be enough, but you can see how well these teams are going to have to play to get out of it. It really is being informed for the whole of the 6 games, wouldn't it? Jasper legend. I think Jasper contributed the other day as well. So kind, Jasper. A super sticker there for £5. Thank you so much, and directly helping me out on hopefully my journey to doing this part-time and then full-time. Wouldn't that be a fine thing? Thank you, Jasper. Wigan probably need 4 to 5 wins from their remaining games. Yeah, they need to do what they've done all over again, don't they? As in 5 wins and a draw in the last 6, which would do it, wouldn't it? 16 points. Is Wigan's deduction confirmed? Wigan going to administration is nothing to do with COVID. It's to do with their owners being really, really dumb, to be honest, and putting them into administration 4 weeks. Just hold on. I mean, look, if the owners went in there and literally don't have the money to prop it up for 4 weeks, or couldn't borrow the money to prop it up for 4 weeks, then fair enough. But why take it over? Have you not done your due diligence? Everybody knows you go into admin. And I don't know whether they'll even bother to appeal, but I just don't think there's going to be a extenuating circumstance that will get them out of it. Wigan could go bust if it's true. I don't think Wigan are going to go bust. I don't think this is a sort of Bury type situation. Remember, Wigan do have some saleable assets and a newish stadium. They're a league higher. They're quite a attractive proposition. They've got an FA Cup in. When they win the FA Cup, Wigan, I can't remember what year it was. Someone tell me in the chat or something. But they've been in the Premier League very, very recently. So no, I don't see. I can see Wigan winning League One next year again, but no, I don't see them going bust. Right, we've done the thick end of an hour, so I will say thank you very much. This was the Championship review for game week number 40. Let's just wrap this up by one more look. A little scoot down the table. Leeds, top of the pile after a draw. West Brom catching up, closing the gap up the top. But Brentford still chasing hard. Brentford 5 points behind Leeds, 5 points behind West Brom. If Brentford keep winning, there is not much margin of error for that top 2. One more win and they'll be within a game of both if either of the top 2 lose next time out. Forest, second straight win, looking comfortable in the playoffs. 7-point gap opened up there. Fulham alongside them on 67, back to winning ways. Cardiff with a draw, but Cardiff in good form, 7 points back. Not the form that Derby are in, though. 5 straight wins for Derby, but we had it posted in the chat. Derby have a minging final 6 games, don't they? And I think there was a crazy run of Leeds, West Brom, Brentford, and Cardiff possibly in there in the space of 4 games. So they're going to do it the hard way. If they get in, they'll damn well deserve it, Derby. Swansea drawing, Preston losing, Blackburn losing, Millwall drawing, Bristol City losing. Bad game week for the chasing pack. There, down the bottom again, the bottom 6 or 7, just outstanding. Wednesday losing, but they're safe enough. Do need to worry about the FFP though. Wigan, incredible, but 12 points going to be taken off, down to 38 for them. QPR on the beach, Reading on the beach, Birmingham on the beach. That may get worrying if these teams below here keep winning. Charlton, 7 points since they've been back. Hull, first win in 13. That's 4 points in the last 2 games. That is exactly what the doctor ordered at Hull. Huddersfield with a win, they'd put them on 45. Borough losing today in the last minute, they're on 44. Stoke, depending on what bottom 3 you believe, into the bottom 3, but they're actually above the line. Barnsley and Luton, brilliant. 7 points for Barnsley, 5 points from Luton since we've been back. Both still struggling with the hangover of their absolutely terrible starts. And Barnsley took so long to hire Gerhard Struber, didn't they? Let's have a look. Waffler says, can I get Kieran Maguire to talk about Wigan? I could do, but Kieran's already done that on his own podcast, so do check that out. I had a listen today. Brilliant as ever, Kieran. 2011, here we go. 2013. Interested predictions from the start of the season in comparison soon. Yes, Mark, I will do that. Always a very, very embarrassing moment. Although, from in the middle of the season, when we look back at them, at least Cardiff and Charlton have gone like that to get to more where I suspected that they would be. Right. thank you ever so much. We know that there's been people who've stayed in this chat for the whole hour. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. So good of you, as usual. All the knowledge that we accumulate together in the chat help, I hope, make these the best analysis you can get of the Championship. If anyone wants to prove us wrong on that, then they can try. But I think with this group of subscribers and my obsessive nerdy nature, I think we've got a good thing going here. So please tell your friends, retweet stuff I do. Just try and get more people and make this absolutely the best community for chat about the Championship. Right, thank you everybody for watching. The weekend is going to look something like we're going to have to do the game week preview. We'll do that at this time tomorrow night, which means I'll get to watch Millwall and Charlton, but I will not get to work on it. We've also got League One playoffs tomorrow night to have a look at. My God, so much football is ridiculous. It is very likely that I'll be doing Derby Forest on Saturday, and it is very likely that I'll be doing pass. I don't know whether I'll do Swansea Wednesday. I might see if there's any other views of videos we can make. A few requests for other stuff coming in. Hip, you're late, buddy. Excuse me. Shout out to Jaggy. Shout out to Mike. Shout out to Craig. Jasper says, wash hands again. Thank you to Jasper for the very kind donation. Shout out to Lee as well. You know who you are supporting the channel, sitting with me and chatting. Great fun for me. Hopefully it's good fun for you for 61 minutes again. And as somebody asked, these are all going on podcast now. So if you're like hip to the game there who's missed it, just type Benjamin Bloom Football Show, hit subscribe. You may as well hit subscribe. And then if you're out driving or you're going for a workout, or you can listen at work or whatever. I had a guy who worked in a factory, used to listen to all the shows, used to leave them on delay and listen actually while he was working. So yeah, get involved and subscribe to the podcast feed as well. This has been game week number 46 to go. See you tomorrow night for the preview for game week 41. Thank you for watching. Jaggy says, Spotify, Stitcher, try Acast. Yeah, download the Acast app. It's normally the best one. Should be on iTunes and everywhere. But I only did the feed about a week ago, so sometimes they take a few days to get in there. The Benjamin Bloom Football Hour. That's good. That's strong, Mike. Have you copyrighted that? I shall see you then, Ben. On time. Nice one, Hip. Give us some insight on Villa, because it's been said we might be seeing you very soon. There we go. Right. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Over and out.